Campers. I'm Spike.
I'm Chris.
That is Chris. What it is, everybody? I'm going to show Chris a present I got for the one who must not be named because her birthday is coming up soon. Ooh. This is this little thing. She acts exactly the same way. Things like $15 on Amazon. They eat 9-volt batteries, but they're absolutely worth it. I'm keeping this bad boy just in case because, yes, it's geeking out. So,
and honestly, that is like the most coolest stuff I've ever seen. I want one.
So anyway, this is. We've lost him. This is our Newsish episode. We're going to start here with... every Sunday we try to record a bunch of these episodes, so we're going to start with the Newsish one here first. And he's lost. Just found out not that long ago that Simon Schuster, one of the biggest and oldest publishers in the United States, is being divested by ViacomCBS, or CBS Viacom, whatever they're calling it this week. Apparently they don't feel there's enough money left in print books. Of course, the reason they held on to them for a long time was for the intellectual property values, because if Simon Schuster publishes a really successful novel, then Paramount, part of ViacomCBS, would be able to make the movie of it, or CBS would be able to make a TV show out of it. And apparently not that important to them. As far as geeks are concerned, however, aside from the fact that Simon & Schuster has published a lot of geek-worthy stuff, is the fact that says everybody in the grandparents online worried about DC Comics and AT&T, because if ViacomCBS, which is an entertainment-specific company, is willing to kick one of its publishers to the curb, would a non-entertainment conglomerate like AT&T, which is already about that far in debt, would they be willing to kick DC Publishing to the curb and still keep the rights, they'll keep the intellectual properties, but will they shut down the comic book publishing, which, if they do that, pretty much ends the comic book industry in the United States. I mean, you'll have Marvel and all the smaller guys, but the direct market dies whimpering if DC goes away, is the way the story goes.
It better not. It better not. Don't take away DC. Don't take away my DC comics.
Here's the thing is, DC, the comic books themselves are struggling. Quite frankly, it's because they're becoming less accessible. In all aspects of the word, they're less accessible. Comic books depend upon a young audience. They need a young audience. Comic books have always depended upon a young audience right up to the 80s, and all of a sudden the audience matured, and as the audience gives up on it or dies out, nobody's taking their place because they don't publish anything for kids anymore. Moms are not going to send their kids out to the comic book store, and they're sure as heck not going to go in with them. So, could the clock be ticking on the direct market?
No.
Now, we went through this last week. We talked about whether Marvel would take it up. No way in the world Disney would do that. They're not going to lose money on publishing DC Comics. Some of the other publishers, on the other hand, like IDW loves to lose money on licensed books. Apparently, a bunch of other publishers might do it, but I don't know. You're definitely not going to be getting 40 or 50 books a month out of such a thing. You might get Detective and Batman, but there won't be a Batgirl. You might get Superman in action, but you won't be getting Super Kid, Superboy, and Batboy, and Super Sons, or whatever the other thing is. You might get The Flash, but you won't be seeing anything of like Wally West or anything like that. You might get a Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, but you're not going to probably see John Stewart or Guy Gardner or anything. You're certainly not going to see the interaction you have between the books now. All also, if you take current DC editorial out of it, it might actually improve the product. Who knows? Your thoughts?
My thoughts?
Uh-huh.
Well, I want to go
All right,
slap some
censor it.
people.
Censor it.
I want to go slap some people.
I do have the Carnival music standing by just in case we need to interrupt again. But he does it about twice a year.
I'm keeping it cool.
We just did that not that long ago.
I'm keeping it cool.
He's keeping it cool.
I'm keeping it cool.
Anyway, so what do you got in the news?
Well, since we're talking about comic books and stuff like that, MCU movies, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is on its way, but they've been talking to James Gunn, Dave Bautista, and all them has been talking about doing a spin-off with Drax and Mantis. Mantis came in, I think, the second Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and will be in the third, but people seem to like the chemistry that Drax and Mantis had, going back and forth with their stupidity and innocence. That might actually become a good movie.
You know what Drax and Mantis strikes me as? It strikes me as like a college-age football player who is all about working out, and like, I'll get in trouble for this, but like his Japanese/Chinese girlfriend who's all kind of like timid and shy and stuff, but you know she can kick
like,
your butt in about 15 different directions if you
like
tick her off.
the stupid jock and the nerdy foreign girl.
The nerdy foreign girl, yes.
Yeah, that's right.
I know there's a name for it too. I know. My daughter Beth over at Noobs with Boobs would be able to tell me exactly what the term is for that in manga, but I can't think of it. But it's got to be a thing.
But I'm into it. But now I'm just going to add this one little bit, because when I was reading about this and doing my research on it, apparently they are going to stop at Guardians of the Galaxy 3. There will be no more.
Good.
No.
Yes.
I like Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a fun movie. Of all the other movies that they decide to make a bunch of sequels of, they're going to stop on this one? Like, for real?
Here's my reaction. But I can understand why you would do Drax and Mantis, because like I said, dumb jock, nerd chick,
Space adventure?
space ghost, all this other stuff. The movie you make is Rocket Raccoon and Groot. That's the movie you make. Rocket Raccoon to bring in the kids, Groot to bring in, the smarter than now hipsters. And you just go in and you just have a raucous little blast. I mean, for goodness sake, I've got one of my books up here is a Rocket Raccoon book that does exactly that. It's nothing but Rocket Raccoon and Groot on an adventure across space and time, apparently. But
It'd be pretty cool. I think it'd be, either which way, either one they go for, it's actually a pretty good idea, I think.
So anyway, here's another thing I don't understand. If it's me, okay, if I'm Kevin Feige and I'm programming right here, okay, I'm rebooting Captain Marvel. I reboot Captain Marvel. Hey, we don't have to change her out. We don't have to do anything, okay? Although, what's her name? Brie Larson plays Captain Marvel.
Do you have the magic to make her more interesting?
Hold on. Send her off into space and interact with Guardians of the Galaxy, do a crossover. See, Guardians of the Galaxy are trying to contain this galaxy-consuming threat. Captain Marvel goes in, guns blazing like she always does, and she has her butt handed to her. And now she's left in the cold of space, and the rest of the movie, because everybody's going to be paying attention to Guardians of the Galaxy off in the corner, she's going to spend the rest of the movie trying to figure out what is my place in the universe, because I should have been able to solve this. And I'm just floating here in space. What's going on? You want to make her a Mary Sue? Make her a cosmic Mary Sue. Make her the new Infinity. Infinity is actually a character in Marvel Comics. Infinity encompasses the entire universe. It is the embodiment of the universe. So you blow her up, And you end the movie with a new Captain Marvel. Should be a white guy, about 6'2", well built, blonde, looking like the original Captain Marvel, Marvel Comics Captain Marvel, and he should be played by John Cena. But
Okay.
can't see that.
Wow.
You
See,
can't
now,
unsee that.
See, now, you lost me along. That,
I didn't say they were all good.
you just went
I
from
can
bad
fix
to
anything.
worse.
I can fix anything, but
No,
I didn't say it
not
was
that
good.
one.
I didn't say it was
Not
good.
that one.
So what else you got?
Alright, so, you remember, we've talked about this before, about the Universal monster movies. What is it called? Dark
Universe.
Yeah, Dark Universe. Well, we talked about last time, what, Monster Mash or something like that movie that they were going to make. Well, now they're doing a readaptation of Frankenstein, where apparently the story is about a bunch of kids that find out that their neighbor's building a dead guy thing. Now, the only reason why I'm a little excited about this, okay, is because, one, you have people from Stranger Things working on this movie, okay, so that's one thing. But it has James Wan who is doing this film. Now, James Wan is best known for his horror stuff, which, of all the scary movies that has came out, you know, in the last 5-6 years or whatever, he managed to actually scare me to death in The Conjuring. The Conjuring to me was the most awesome, loved the movie, but it scared the crap out of me. It was good. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's also done fantastic with I don't know what's wrong. Aquaman, the new superhero movies. You know, he's good at what he does. So if he's behind all this, then this is going to be good. I think it really is. Even though it does sound like, to me, like we were talking about earlier, to me it sounds like Monster Squad. And if you never see Monster Squad, go check that movie out. It's awesome. But,
I would rather see him remake Drax. But anyway, so James Wan directing a bunch of kids in a Frankenstein remake where their naughty next door neighbor is playing with dead body parts.
Kind of like The Burbs.
That went away. Okay.
I want one.
I was just blowing all the smell of that concept away. What a stupid concept. Okay, James Wan, hey, Conjuring, Aquaman, I'll give him credit. Aquaman's cool. Although I put more of the credit for that on Jason Momoa than I do on James Wan. But hey, good stuff. I'd rather see the Drax movie than... You remember Drax? You know what I'm talking about? It was an old 80s cartoon, I believe, with Dracula Jr., Frankenstein Jr., and Wolfman Jr., and they had to stop Drax Jr.'s dad from taking over the world.
Funny, there's a British show called Young Dracula that seems to have that kind of same... Sorry.
Don't let the IP cops know. Anyway. But yeah. Yawn. Okay. So, I don't care. Stranger Things. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Neat concept, season 1. Ran to the ground, season 2. Been floundering, gasping for air ever since.
No.
Yes.
No.
Don't care about Stranger Things. But even if I didn't even come to bury Stranger Things, because Stranger Things is its own thing. There are fans. Not my cup of tea. I'm not going to argue with it. Okay, not going to argue with it. Okay, you like Stranger Things?
Hey.
Now, doesn't mean it should be Stranger Things, Frankenstein Jr.
That's pretty much what this is. I mean, I admit, I see what you're saying.
God!
I see what you're saying. It is pretty much Stranger Things, but they're taking on Frankenstein. It's pretty much, yeah. But again, Monster Squad.
Make Frankenstein a zombie movie. Here's an idea. Genetically engineer life. I mean, we're trying to do this anyway. Artificial intelligence, right? Okay. Remember me telling you the concept of zombie? XOMBI? It was a Milestone comic. It was about a guy who was chock full of nanobots that would consume any kind of flesh to repair any damage he sustained, right?
Yeah.
Remember my concept for Brainiac? How it was supposed to be an artificial intelligence that would infect the internet and would control humanity that way, and Superman would have nothing to punch and would actually have to use his super wits? You remember me telling you about that?
Yeah.
Frankenstein, okay? Frankenstein is an artificial intelligence just designed from the bottom up. But the human mind is so complicated, they have to take mental engrams from... Well, they can't do it from living people because that would be against the law. But if they do it from dead people, at the moment they die, maybe they can... Somehow, somebody gets electrocuted, a killer gets electrocuted, somehow that hat, through a crossed wire somewhere, it hits a Cat6 cable, hits the internet, and winds up being installed into this nanobot swarm. And the nanobot swarm starts creating its own life with this guy's brain in charge. So no bolts in the neck, no flat head. He looks like Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt is Frankenstein, but he's hungry. So now Frankenstein, this abomination nobody knows about because he's so damn pretty. There's your Frankenstein, buddy. Run that for 2 hours. And oh my goodness, hey, get somebody who's really built up, somebody who's stacked. There's one for The Rock. That'll stretch The Rock's acting abilities a bit. I know he's already got Black Adam on the...
I'm sorry, folks. I think he's been smoking some weed.
No. You folks respond, because we're going to put this on Facebook. You folks respond on Facebook. You tell me, am I that far off base with Frankenstein as a nanobot-built artificial intelligence structure? I bet you it would make more money than stranger Frankenstein things.
I mean, it sounds actually interesting if it was just a robot instead of a human being.
You could make him look like Cheech Marin and call him Frankenstein.
Now that'd be a movie.
That would be one.
I want that.
There you go. Reboot all these. Do your Dark Universe, but you cast comedians as the monsters. Can you imagine Kevin Hart as the werewolf? That would be good, man. I know who would do it. Dave Chapelle as Dracula.
Oh, wow.
See, you sit here and you poo-poo my ideas, but I can throw them out there, man.
Oh, my
I get them out there.
goodness.
Dave Chapelle as Dracula. Or hell, just do a whole urban monster myth. Like Dark Urbanverse or something, if you want to call it that. And... oh my God. The Rock is Frankenstein. Kevin Hart is the Wolfman. Dave Chapelle is Dracula. And let's say, oh hell, I don't know. Let's say Angela Bassett is Bride of Frankenstein.
Wow, that came out of nowhere.
Hey, she's got to get work sometime or another.
Who would Jim Carrey be?
The Invisible Man. No. Take that back. He would have to be the Mummy because Brendan Fraser proved you need a comedian there to liven that up enough to make the story presentable. Make Jim Carrey the Mummy.
Okay. All right. I actually like this idea. That'd be pretty good.
Who would be the creature from the Black Lagoon, though? Which comedian would fit?
Terry Crews.
Yeah, he would. That's something. Yeah, that would work. Probably. That would probably work.
Or that could be Cheech Moran.
And Eddie Murphy is the Invisible Man.
You can hear him, but you can't see him, which is the problem.
Oh, here. Let's make it even worse. Let's make it I was going to say Damon Wayans as the Invisible Man, but no. Let's make it Marlon Wayans, so that way it's really annoying when you hear his voice.
We should switch up Dracula. Steve Martin as Dracula.
I don't think Steve Martin does comedy anymore, does he?
I don't know.
I know he hasn't been one. Huh?
Or
Leslie Nielsen pulled it off.
Yeah.
Dead and Loving It.
I haven't seen that movie in forever.
I told you I was sick.
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray's overrated. Bill Murray. Who would you put Bill Murray in as?
Well, actually, everything he does is kind of like a monster movie. Garfield.
I would put him in the Portrait of Dorian Gray. There's a horror movie. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Do you know what it's about?
No.
The Portrait of Dorian Gray is this old school Gothic style. It's kind of horror, but it's kind of not. It's kind of like old school horror. This guy has a portrait painted of him, and the painter is like really passionate about it, and says and tells Dorian Gray, you know what, if only this beauty will never fade, because Dorian Gray is supposed to be this beautiful dude, okay, this portrait will never, the beauty of it will never fade. It's too bad this couldn't age in your place. And he's like, yeah, that would be nice. So Dorian Gray sells his soul to the devil so that the portrait ages instead of the guy Dorian Gray. So needless to say, Dorian Gray, he stays young, he stays pretty looking and everything, and he turns into a nasty piece of fudge. And every time he screws somebody over or winds up murdering people, the portrait gets a little bit uglier, a little bit uglier, a little bit uglier. And he has to hide it away so people won't see it and wonder, why in the world would he have this thing painted of him? Finally, somebody sees it, and he rushes up, trying to confront them. They turn around, and they're so shocked, they put their hand right through the portrait. The spell is broken, and he instantly ages and just drops dead as like this big cancerous mass of tumors, because he was such an ugly duck by the time he died.
That's pretty awesome.
That one needs to be remade. I gave She Who Must Not Be Named a nice little laughing fit, because I could have sworn it was Dobie Gray. Dobie Gray actually performs the song Drift Away, and he's a brother man, but that was back in the 70s.
Don't step on your red man.
Red man. So anyway, you got any other news?
No, that's about it.
So that's about it. So we're going to let hold on, what's this guy's name? Wacky Waving Inflatable Tube Guy take us out.
I want to play with him. I want to play with him.
Watch your hands there on the side. But, so we're going to I'm Spike. That's Chris.
I'm Chris.
And that is Wacky Waving Inflatable Tube Guy.
I'm so getting me one of these.
And we'll see you all next time. You go, buddy. Boom. Come on. See you next time on Geeking Out. All right.